Pues empiezo entonces. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, my speech of today is about gig economy. But what is gig economy? For years, the norm for a job has been either a full-time employment or a part-time employment. But recently, more and more people are beginning to take on a variety of short-term jobs, also known as gigs. And this includes things like freelancing or temporary jobs. The gig economy is based on flexible, temporary, or freelance jobs, often involving connecting with customers through an online platform. And companies are more likely to hire freelancers instead of full-time employees. The gig economy is beginning to take a large proportion of the workforce, and recent studies show no sign of it slowing down. And so this is partially due to the evolution of technology, because as you may be aware of, companies are now able to hire any person in the world who can actually easily telecommute and work for them from the distance. As translators and interpreters, I guess that you can all relate to these. And even if you aren't a freelance translator and interpreter, you may be experiencing something similar to this due to the current corona crisis. The gig economy can benefit workers, businesses, and consumers and customers by making work more adaptable to the needs of the moment and the demand for flexible lifestyles. For example, mobile apps allowed businesses like Uber and Airbnb to grow an enormous amount of contract workers. And also, more and more people can now market themselves on social media and sell their products at a much cheaper cost than traditional advertising. However, all that glitters is not gold. The gig economy can have downsides, and it may undermine traditional economic relationships between full-time workers, businesses, and clients. Despite its benefits, there are some downsides to the gig economy, as I was saying. It can make it harder for full-time employees to develop fully in their careers, since temporary employees are often cheaper to hire and more flexible. Workers who prefer a traditional career path and the stability and security that come with it are finding it slightly hard to fit in this scenario. For some workers, the flexibility of working on gigs can actually disrupt their work-life balance, sleep patterns, and activities of daily life. Flexibility in a gig economy often means that workers have to make themselves available anytime a gig comes up. And this is regardless of their other needs, and they must always be on the hunt for the next gig or the next job. Again, I don't know if this is familiar to you. Indeed, workers in a gig economy are more like entrepreneurs than traditional workers. America is well on its way to establishing gig economy. And so let's have a look at some statistics. 36% of US workers participate in the gig economy through either the primary or secondary jobs. 60% of full-time executives would become an independent contractor if they had the opportunity. Nearly 40% of the American workforce now makes at least 40% of their income via gig work. Over 75% of gig workers say that they would not leave freelance work for a full-time job. And I find this one specifically very interesting. What else did I want you to know? Also, at least 90% of Americans are open to the idea of freelancing, consulting, or independent contracting work. According to an article published by Forbes, the gig economy plays a major part of many international business operations. And companies have become aware of the benefits of hiring freelancers or project-based contractors, as it comes with more flexibility, lower liability, and fewer costs than hiring full-time employees. Simple as that. As the gig economy continues to grow due to greater demand and technological advancements, its impact on the world of business is also increasing, of course. The gig economy may impact the world of business as we know it in a number of ways. And the article I was mentioning before touches on some of these potential changes. First, companies will absolutely need to be able to entice candidates with flexibility and part-time benefits to have a chance at retention. Then companies will seek more flexibility in managing their fixed costs so that they so this means that they are often hiring contingent workforces, and these will not only increase the demand for temporary or gig workers, but also for service suppliers that should be willing to provide support for roles previously handled by internal staff. Also, very important, the gig economy will include more specialized expertise, and companies will focus more on how to best optimize a mix of both permanent and on-demand talent to achieve their goals. And this means that some firms will have to create leadership positions focused on this very thing. The next thing this article talks about is the fact that businesses, the necessity of businesses may clash with legal compliance. The gig economy will continue to expand, and in order to attract talent, organizations will have to hire people for gigs. This is actually what this new scenario is about. However, this may clash with compliance requirements, meaning that businesses will have to lobby the government to update their IRS rules. To sum up, companies will have to offer flexible scheduling, remote work opportunities, and as a consequence, the work-life balance will become even more important to maintain an engaged and committed workforce. So according to all these, the traditional worker as we know it, I think it will fade even quicker, and gig economy will no longer be a trend, but actually it's going to become the norm. And so it's hard to say exactly how the rise of the gig economy will affect and shape the future of the job market. But we do know that companies will and workers, of course, will definitely have to adapt to it. So that was all for my part. I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you very much.